Alright guys, welcome back to a very special episode of Endurance and Aesthetics. Super excited to get through on this one. This is post-competition. I'm still freaking buzzing about the results. Had a absolutely banging time down in Milton Keynes, stepping up on stage for the very first time. And I'm going to go through all that whole weekend with you right now. First of all, had an absolute nightmare of an evening getting the first layer of base coat in, getting that tan done. Turned up at the wrong place to get my tan done. And then I think the first layer of tan that I had to do wasn't right, or I hadn't dried properly when I started putting some shoes back on, and I had to go in again and dry again. So I had at least a double coat of tan on that first night. Sitting in the hotel room, absolutely jokes, getting constantly taken the piss out of by my friend Tom, who was down. Every time he turned around was just freaking laughing at me for how brown I was and how I looked. I was looking pretty sharp still in the evening. I wasn't feeling too bad. I was definitely jealous of the quantity of food that Tom had. Check this out.
Tom, just go through with me all the food that you've brought today, knowing that I'm going to be eating nothing.
So I've got 2 bananas, broccoli, cauliflower, and an apple. I have got 2 pizzas. I've got about a kilo and a bit of pasta. I have also got oats, Pom Bears, and because you can never have too many carbs, I've also got a mug of pasta as well, which just requires hot water.
I've eaten 2 rice cakes with jam, 100 grams of strawberries, and 20 grams of chocolate. Yeah.
It was pretty excruciating watching him sitting there just smashing pizza into his face while I was sitting there with just a lowly 60 grams of rice and some chicken, and it was no water pretty much. On the day again, rocking up, getting tan done. I feel like I still had another million layers of tan on, and I was freaking brown. I took some shots of me straight out the back of getting tan. I was so brown, getting that constant laugh at me by Tom. It was freaking funny. It was quite a long morning, getting that briefing done at 12 o'clock, and then first stepping out on stage at 1. I think there was a lot of nerves building up, because that time that I had to stand around, and I was just getting nervous and feeling really oh shit, what am I doing? I don't, really out of my depth. I was feeling I was feeling really out of my depth. I was feeling very not confused, but just oh my God, I've never done this before. Not shaky or anything, but just really nervous. Definitely excited, but more nervous, not really sure what was going on. Leading up to this, I didn't actually realise that I had to compete in both the physique shorts and the booty shorts. I thought I just had the booty shorts, so I was panicking, being oh my God, I need shorts. What am I going to do? I just wore a pair of gym shorts that I had and got away with it. I'm not quite sure how I managed that, but I did. So for both the physique competition and the male model, and then ended up having the right amount of stuff, I entered the beginner physique as well as the open physique, because on the tan day where I had the first layer of tan, they were oh, you're a first time competitor, you can enter the beginner as well. Turns out the beginner was actually probably more competitive. There was more people than the open, but it still gave me another chance to step out on stage, soak up the atmosphere, and have a great time. Cramming that last little bit of food in before stepping out on stage, it was a case of what kind of shape am I in, and what do I need to do? How big do I need to fill out a little bit? Just jam, rice cakes, jam, rice cakes, jam, rice cakes. Just literally all I was eating all morning. It was great hanging out though in the morning, met some really class people in the morning, just chatting. Really helped calm my nerves. Some people who are competing in my category, some people who are competing in other categories, and had an absolute blast just meeting them, chatting, The environment was so friendly. I cannot stress that enough. And for anyone who wants to compete, just fucking do it. Like, the people are so nice, they're so friendly, talk to people. They just, like, it was like a million fist bumps, did great. It was so nice to just chat and soak that up. And even though you were nervous and had no idea what was going on, it was just positive all the way around. Stepping out onto stage, after the briefing, I had been told I am the first person going out in the first group, and I was like bricking my pants. I had no idea what was going on. Having not done this before, after the briefing, I didn't realise I needed to do a T-walk, and in my brain I just hadn't prepared to do a T-walk at all. Coming out, what poses I wanted to do, what positions I wanted to be in, didn't know, like, hadn't practiced in my mind how that was going to feel. Having never stepped out on stage, it was like, oh my God, you're standing out in front of all these people and your brain just stops working. I've posed before, I've done these things, I've hit these positions, but then you step out and you're like, panic, and you just get it done too quick. So that first physique that I did, the physique open, I just rushed. It was not good. I felt nervous and it was super overwhelming. I still kind of cracked through and loved the fact that I did it, but it definitely wasn't my best posing, it definitely wasn't my best effort, and I didn't feel anywhere near as home as I did later on. I had a little gap in between some of the events. The second event that I had was male model under 80 kilos, so I had a chance to get out, watch a little bit of the show, chat to family, kind of talk through some of the things I hadn't done, and change into my booty shorts for the male model. And I felt so much more at home sitting in the booty shorts, going through some of the actions that I practiced previously a little bit more in depth. I had a great chance to flex the legs as well, get the legs involved much more at home than with the physique, and just banking that experience of I now know what it feels like to step out on stage. So if you are going to compete, if that is something that you want to do, just freaking enter as many things as you can all in one go on one day. You've done all the hard work, all the prep, everything, all the difficulty of the diet, of the training, getting there. Everything you've done has led up to this. And if you just go in and take that chance and go, right, I'm going to enter as many of these things as I can and just go in to have a great time, I fully recommend just doing that. Got pumped up in the warm-up area for the male model, smashed another couple of rice cakes and a little bit of salt water to beforehand. I was nicely glazed up at this point as well, so feeling so much more at home in the booty shorts. I'd gone through in my mind as well, practice what I wanted to do up onto the T-walk. I wanted to get the legs in, I wanted to get a turn in. I wanted to be in a position where I just walked out and banged out a shitload of confidence, and I was so happy with that's what I did. I walked out with a friggin' big smile on my face and just loved it. I soaked up the atmosphere. I really wanted to be there, and I just had a great time in the male model. I went out with another couple of guys who were competing in the over 35s for male model, and it's a shame this competition wasn't in a couple of weeks' time, because I also would have entered the male model over 35s, and I would have loved to have competed up in that group as well. And I think next time, exactly what I'm going to do is male model at whatever weight I am and the male model over 35s. They'll be the groups that I really want to compete in. Really enjoyed that male model experience much more than I did the physique. I had quite a big gap in between the male model and also the final physique, which is the beginner. So I had a chance to watch some of the other events, and it was really cool just sitting there soaking in some of the bikini wellness, and also some of the bodybuilding events. Unbelievable shape some of the guys are in. Really cool to watch some of their routines. And even though I didn't get a wild amount of time to watch loads of the stuff that was on stage, it was nice to just sit back, come back out of backstage and just chill out for a little bit. Final event was the physique beginner, and I think this was more competitive than the physique open. There was more guys on stage. Like, the guy who won both the beginner and the open, who got the pro card, was in unreal shape, and it was so competitive, but it was a great experience stepping up on stage, getting that T-walk in, hitting some of those positions and just vibing with the music and the atmosphere that was going on. All around, that whole atmosphere of the day was great. Backstage, just a million fist bumps. You did great. I love this, guys. You're in great shape. The environment, the people I was with, just the energy both backstage and on stage was unbelievable. So freaking cool. Going out for presentations at the end of the day, it was a long day, so it was quite late in the day. Going out and placing, I think it was 5th or 6th in the physique open, not placing in the physique beginner because there was just so many people, and it was, as I said, it was so much more competitive, I think, than the open. But a big old surprise coming out of the back of the male model under 80 kilos, banking this big fucker a gold medal, stepping out as number 1 for male model under 80 kilos. And to be honest, I don't actually care that I was the only one competing at male model under 80 kilos. I still did all the freaking hard work. I still did the prep. I still went on stage. I still had a great time. And the fact I wasn't shooting for a gold medal didn't matter to me. I just wanted to have a great time. But coming away with a big old friggin' medal, who cares? That topped it, man. It was a great experience, and I would have had a great time regardless of not whether I got that medal. But it was just awesome to come out and get an event, come back up on stage, receive a medal, and just again soak up that atmosphere and be involved in the whole damn thing. It was just great to get up on stage, have a great time, and absolutely smash it, soak up that atmosphere. It's definitely an experience that I want to go back to again. Finishing the competition, finally getting some big old food in, went out for a big old burger afterwards, and honestly, it was like the best thing. It was like heaven. Just my face alone from smashing into that burger, you can tell that it meant, like, I needed this burger, and it was absolutely heaven. And then smashing home, eating about 1 million flapjacks, both in the car and when I got home, sweet treats all round, just coming in and smashing a ton of food. Like 24 hours post-competition, not thinking about the food that I'm eating, just going like, I want sweet this, I want sweet that, I want that. These are just all things that I've eaten 24 hours post-competition, just smashing food. I basically took the last kind of 24 hours as a big old diet break. I haven't been interested in tracking calories. I will probably do this for another couple of days just to make sure that I can re-carb up and just eat a load of food. I'm gonna go based on how I feel, creating some energy, making sure I get some protein in, but not really paying attention exactly to the amount of calories that I'm eating, just making sure that I've got the carbohydrates that I need. It's only a 10K, it's not like a marathon or endurance, so I don't need to carb load for it. I just need to replenish some of those stores that I've depleted leading up to the bodybuilding show, most of which are probably well back into my body by now. We are onwards and upwards next. We now have 6 days until my 10K run in Sapson. So next Sunday is the 10K run. We have done the bodybuilding bit. We have stepped up on stage. We've had a freaking great experience, guys. And we are now off to do the running half of my endurance and aesthetics challenge. So stay tuned for how that goes. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. We are not done yet.